At least 4% of men deal with delayed ejaculation. And that means that they're not able to ejaculate when and how they want to. But actually, a ton of men, both my one-on-one clients and the men in my membership program, tell me that they deal with delayed ejaculation on a frequent basis. So I actually think that that 4% number is way underestimating a problem that is growing in size and in percentage of men who are affected. And if that is you, if you are in the at least 4%, maybe more of men who deal with delayed ejaculation, fret not, because I am going to, in this video, explain to you everything that you need to know to begin to tackle this mysterious and rather under-discussed problem that affects a lot of men. Who am I to be talking about this? Hi, I'm Caitlin B, your sex and relationship coach, and I am an expert in men's sexuality. And that's a good thing, because even us experts in men's sexuality and most of the researchers who are doing work on delayed ejaculation admit that they actually do not know what causes it, and most of them are left without much of a clue as to how to actually treat it. And that's true for doctors, urologists, sex therapists, of which I am none of the above. What I am is a sex coach. One of the things that actually gives me a lot of ability to do, though, is to speak to you from outside of those sort of standard definitions and treatments. And I'm just going to share with you what I have found from my work with literally hundreds, now thousands of clients and customers who I have helped to improve their sex and relationship. So in this video, what it is, how to work with it, and some advice for both the guys and the partners out there who are suffering, not knowing what the heck is going on. Let's come up with just a baseline definition so that we know what we're working with here. Delayed ejaculation is the frequent inability to ejaculate when and how you want. For my purposes, it's not about 1 out of every 4 times or 1 out of every 2 times or 1 out of every 6 times. It's actually what bothers you. So if it's inhibiting your sex life, if it's getting in the way of your quality of your sex life or your romantic relationship, then we're going to consider it enough of an issue that it deserves attention, and therefore it's something that can be looked at and affected. Now, I will say that it is important to know that some guys don't ejaculate every single time that they have sex or they masturbate. In fact, I would say probably all guys from time to time don't get hard when they want to, finish sooner than they want to, or don't ejaculate when they want to. But it should not be the majority of the time for any of those things. If it's starting to be the majority, if it's more than 1 out of every 2 times, then it is a problem, and you should definitely take that into consideration and do some things about it, because you deserve it, because you deserve to have a great sex life. One of the most common things that I hear from female partners is, and that my guys come to me and say their wives and girlfriends are saying to them, is that it's about being attracted to her. And I want to just set the record straight right now. It is not about that. It's not about whether or not he's attracted to you. It may have a lot of different causes. I'll talk about that in just a second, but I feel like it's important for us to address that up front. Don't worry. His ability to ejaculate and the amount of attraction that he feels for you are 2 completely different things. They may have things in common, but if he's telling you that they don't, they probably don't. Why are we talking about delayed ejaculation? Well, it can be a huge source of stress inside of a relationship. Most of us enjoy reaching orgasm, and men enjoy ejaculating. And so when you're not able to ejaculate, it can feel like you really don't get closure. You don't get finality. Your sexual experience really isn't over. You have to kind of just say that it's over, or, you know, for many of my clients, like the female partner just like taps out, like she doesn't want to have sex anymore. She's good, she's complete. And that can be really distressing for both parties. The other reason we need to talk about it is that it's on the rise. So I'm noticing as a coach that younger and younger men are coming to me with higher and higher rates of delayed ejaculation. And I actually think that this is caused by porn. So younger men, especially men under the age of 30, are increasingly exposed to internet porn and a super wide variety of really intense visual sexual stimulus from an earlier and earlier age. And when you actually get your body and your orgasm accustomed to intense visual stimulus in order to like get aroused and to get off and reach ejaculation, then when you're actually with a partner, it can be really hard, because you're not getting that much stimulation. Like if you are used to watching gangbang porn or like my stepsister's stuck in a closet porn on a regular basis, it can be really difficult to just have like vanilla regular intercourse with the person in front of you and find it as arousing. It's because your brain is just literally used to having, you know, 10 partners or 10 different scenes or 10 different scenarios or stuff that your girlfriend's just like not willing to do, and that is your baseline for arousal. So if that's you, one of the ways that you can actually deal with delayed ejaculation is to not watch as much porn. One of the other most common causes of delayed ejaculation is the way that you masturbate. If you masturbate in what's known as an idiosyncratic way, which is just a way that it is impossible for a human being to recreate with their mouth, vagina, or anus, then you may actually be getting your body and your penis used to a specific kind of stimulus where it requires that kind of stimulus to get off, and therefore you're not able to actually reach ejaculation with a partner because her body cannot create the like death grip that you've been masturbating with your hands or with a mattress or a firm surface. If she can't recreate that with her body, then the answer for you to reclaim your ability to ejaculate is to start masturbating with something that feels like a human body. For my guys out there who are like, that's me, I highly recommend that you invest in a really good water-based lube and a silicone masturbation sleeve, or sometimes known as a pocket. This is a toy that you can use that will actually recreate the sensation of being inside of a body, and therefore you can begin to train yourself to be used to those kinds of sensations to get off. And if you're dealing with delayed ejaculation, and this is sort of like the 101 advice for those of you who are like, I tried all this, it's not working. Stay with me, hang on, we're not there yet. Try to masturbate less. So cut out porn, recreate what it feels like to be inside of an actual body, and masturbate less frequently. If you're masturbating on a daily basis and then you go to see your partner like that night and you already masturbated one time that day, it's gonna be harder for you to ejaculate, right? So maybe go 24, 48, even 72 hours prior to your date, don't masturbate, and see if you can build up some of that erotic energy, and therefore you're more likely to be able to ejaculate with your partner. Okay, so those are the beginner options. If this is your first video you've ever watched on delayed ejaculation, if this is the first video you've ever seen on my channel, take a second to subscribe. There's so much more where this came from. What if you've already tried all that though? What if you've already cut out porn and changed the way you masturbate and you're still not able to ejaculate with a partner? The opportunity for you, and this is gonna sound so backwards, it's gonna sound like the exact opposite of what you've been doing, and maybe that's the best indication that like what you're doing isn't working. I want you to actually do less. One of the most common things that I see for my guys that deal with DE is that they keep piling more and more and more sensation on top. They go harder, faster, longer, they add vibrators, they just try to overwhelm their penis with so much sensation that it can't possibly not erupt. But here's the thing. What happens is that you're actually training your nerve endings to desensitize themselves. You're actually training them to turn off, because the more sensation that you throw at them, the less sensitive they can be. I mean, imagine if you took a very sensitive part of your body and just started like vigorously rubbing it and vibrating against it. Eventually it just goes numb, right? It doesn't increase in sensation, it actually decreases in sensation. And this is how I want you to approach your genitals. Do less. Stimulate them less, but focus more on the sensation itself. So you're actually training your nerve endings to be looking for and anticipating and more sensitive to sensation instead of less so. And this reminds me, if you deal with delayed ejaculation, I want you to ask yourself, do you deal with numbness overall? Like, do you feel emotionally numb? Are there things that you just feel numb to? Maybe there's been some big traumas, some people passed away, some relationships ended, some physical injury, not to your penis, but to yourself, that caused you to deal with or to create for yourself numbness as a way of not dealing with that pain. If you feel emotionally numb, chances are that your dick is going to actually respond to and reflect the way that you feel emotionally. So if that's you, then consider working with a therapist, a coach, even better, a somatic expert, someone that is trained to help you feel your body. Try slowing down, try breathing before you masturbate, try using really light sensation over and over and over again, and do not expect that you are going to be able to turn this around right away, but know that you can turn it around with time. So, in summary, change the way that you masturbate less, use less sensation, not more, and retrain your body to be able to feel. This is the collection of the easiest and simplest advice that I can give you on delayed ejaculation. If you want more help with this, I highly recommend that you join my membership program where you can actually get help from me directly on this and whatever else is ailing you inside of your sexual relationship or your sex life. I would be so happy to be there for you. I'm Caitlin V. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you here next week.